You might notice something strange about yourself. The way you talk online is not exactly the way you talk in real life. Your messages feel smoother. Your thoughts come out more clearly. Sometimes you're funnier, more confident, more expressive. But in person, things feel different. You hesitate more. You overthink what you're about to say. Your personality feels slightly quieter. And it can leave you wondering something uncomfortable. Which one is the real version of me? The one online or the one in real life? The answer is more psychological than most people realize, because the difference you feel isn't fake. It's the result of how the human brain processes social pressure. In face-to-face conversations, your brain is handling a huge amount of information at once. You're processing facial expressions, tone of voice, body language, timing. At the same time, your brain is monitoring how you appear to the other person. Psychologists call this self-monitoring. It's the brain's system for adjusting behavior based on social feedback. When someone raises an eyebrow, your brain notices. When someone pauses before responding, your brain notices. When someone looks distracted, your brain notices. All of this information is processed in milliseconds. And while this ability helps us navigate social situations, it also creates pressure. Because part of your mental energy is constantly checking, how am I coming across right now? That pressure doesn't exist in the same way online. When you type a message, the environment changes. There are no immediate facial reactions, no awkward silences, no sudden shifts in tone. Your brain receives less social feedback. And when feedback decreases, self-monitoring relaxes. That's why your thoughts often feel clearer when you write. Your brain has more cognitive space. Instead of reacting instantly, you can pause. You can edit your words. You can reshape a sentence before anyone sees it. In psychology, this is sometimes connected to something called the online disinhibition effect. When people communicate through screens, they feel less socially restrained. Not necessarily because they want to behave badly, but because the brain perceives the environment as less immediately threatening. Without real-time social evaluation, the nervous system becomes calmer. And when the nervous system relaxes, expression becomes easier. There's another layer to this difference. Your brain organizes identity differently depending on context. In real life, your identity is shaped by history with the people around you. Friends remember how you acted years ago. Family members see you through old roles. Coworkers associate you with a specific personality. These expectations create what psychologists call identity anchoring. People unconsciously expect you to behave in ways that match their memory of you, and your brain often adjusts to maintain that consistency. But online, many of those anchors disappear. You're interacting without the same history attached to you. Without those expectations, your brain experiments more freely with expression. You may reveal opinions more openly. You may show humor you normally hold back. You may express ideas that feel harder to say face to face. Not because the online version of you is fake, but because it's operating in a lower pressure identity environment. Think of it like speaking in a quiet room versus speaking on a crowded stage. Your voice is the same, but the environment changes how comfortable you feel using it. Online spaces remove many of the signals that normally trigger social caution, which allows certain parts of your personality to surface more easily. But this creates an interesting psychological conflict. Sometimes the online version of you feels more like your true self, more articulate, more expressive, more honest. while the in-person version feels filtered, restricted, less clear. But neither version is the full picture. There's simply two expressions of the same mind responding to different environments. In person, your brain prioritizes social harmony and quick responses. Online, your brain prioritizes reflection and controlled expression. Both systems evolved for good reasons. Human communication was originally designed for small groups where facial feedback mattered. Digital communication introduced a completely new environment your brain is still adapting to. So the next time you notice that difference between who you are online and who you are in person, don't assume one version is more real than the other. Instead, recognize what's actually happening. Your brain is adjusting to the rules of each environment. In one space, it's managing immediate social signals. In the other, it has the time and distance to express thoughts more freely. The real version of you exists somewhere between those two experiences. And understanding that difference can help you see something important. You were never two different people. You were simply the same mind learning how to speak under two very different kinds of pressure.